Action.
Do you consider yourself a feminist, Jude?
Gosh, that term seems to be so complicated now. If you'd asked me that 20 years ago, I'd have said, yeah. I know I grew up in a household with two very strong women, my mum and my sister, and a mum who I feel gave me great guidance. But I mean, that's such a dangerous area now. I don't even know what to say to it.
So what does it mean to you to behave and to act maybe as an ally of feminism in your work, in your job as an actor?
It feels important. It feels very, very important. I, for one, am very happy that I'm making films and telling stories at a time when women are getting more involved, both in front of and behind the camera, that their stories are being told. And like I said, it was one of the key elements to getting involved in this. It seemed just right that Karim wanted to shine a spotlight on an extraordinary woman whose story wasn't told.
And in Firebrand, you play King Henry VIII. I was wondering what makes for you as an actor a great performance?
I think understanding the person as a human. I think understanding their judgments and their decisions and their behavioral patterns and their physicality from the sort of essence of them rather than the legacy or the portrait. And so getting inside them.
What struck me in Firebrand was your intensity and the tension. I was wondering, how do you feel after a violent scene? What kind of impact does it have on your body, on your mindset, especially when you're the violent one, precisely?
It's a good question. It's not an easy space to be in. You have to hope, and we were fortunate that this was a very safe environment. It felt collaborative. It felt always, I know that I had the trust of Alicia and the encouragement of Karim. It never felt like we went anywhere that no one was happy to go to. We all knew what we had to achieve. But honestly, playing Henry physically really beat me up. It was hard work, and I felt at the end sort of very out of shape, and I think a lot of that was also the abusive nature of what we had to achieve with him. So I was quite happy to shed him at the end.
But it's a terrific and terrible character, part of a legend for divorcing and killing most of his wives back in the 16th century. What do you feel about the fact that 5 centuries later, society still hasn't solved the problem of male violence and male domination?
Well, I wonder whether a part of it is that we haven't looked at and investigated and celebrated the survivors and understood the scenarios. It's like, instead we sort of almost celebrate the tyranny of this man more than the woman who survived him and outmaneuvered him. And we hope that's sort of what this story does.
And to what extent do you believe in the power of fictions to make collective mentality evolve?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have great faith in storytelling. I have great faith in communal gathering to experience stories, to understand stories unknown to us, but also to share, positive experiences as well as moving experiences. I believe in it because I think it's at our essence. After lighting a fire to stay warm, after feeding ourselves, what we would have done as groups is tell stories about the dark, about the wolves, about great characters of the past. It's in us, and it's a very important part of us. It bonds us.
What's the best lesson that a film taught you?
I can't think of a film, but I can think of sort of what storytelling and what film going teaches me is to be fascinated by humans and to forgive them and to understand them and love them and embrace humanity.
Do you feel you're getting better with age, Jude? As a person, but also as an actor?
Again, I hope so. I don't know. I think my process is more tuned. What I hope to achieve and what I know I can get out of the part is more streamlined. And the judgments I make and why I do things is more mature, and I suppose comes from a place of more wisdom. But I've also lost certain things. I mean, there's an element of youthful enthusiasm and youthful ambition that you just get naturally in your 20s.
Do you miss that?
A little bit. but a little bit. But I think the parts available to me and where I'm seemingly being allowed to explore as an actor from people, you have to wait to be asked to go to work as an actor, or you have to generate it yourself. And it feels like that's broadening, which I hope continues.
If you were a king, Jude, what kind of king would you be? You can be ambitious.
What would I be? God, I would hate it. I'd be in denial. I'd hide.
Of course, you're a British actor. The coronation of Charles III has taken place a few weeks ago. As a citizen and a royal subject, how do you expect him to rejuvenate the English monarchy?
I don't know that I expect him to. I'm intrigued to see what happens. I'm not as obsessed as some. I'm sort of intrigued by the history of the family, and therefore, each one of them will indeed become another chapter in that history. I think the amount of money it costs is questionable, and I think that needs to be addressed.